Hello, and welcome to the Milsap Fan Blog Show. I'm your host, Beth M. Dodd. This is episode 3 of my own podcast, but an even better one that I'd like to encourage everyone to listen to is Ronnie's. It's called Music and Milsap, and he really has a lot of fun doing these. He features rare tracks that many of us have never heard, and he will soon also have some guests on the studio with him. He currently even features an email in Q&A segment where fans can send him a short, all-audience appropriate question for a chance to have it randomly drawn from a fishbowl and answered. It's currently available only on Spotify and RonnieMilsap.com at this time. His people are telling me they are working on making a more easily accessible and available on more platforms soon. So far, it's still just on his website and Spotify. The next episodes will be out Friday, and I am told it's even going to be the best yet. I can't wait to hear what he's got up his rhinestone-encrusted sleeve. He never ceases to amaze me. Plus, have a listen. He really does have an awesome job with it. This week's topic of conversation, I normally talk about Ronnie and some of his achievements and accomplishments. This week I thought I'd talk about something just a little bit different, and it's going to be about collectibles. Many fans have their own personal displays and museums with their meet and greet photos, concert snapshots, displays of albums, shirts, ticket stubs, and the like. I personally am no exception. I have items all over my room which friends lovingly refer to as the Milsap Museum. I have many custom photo products like blankets, tapestries, mugs, framed pictures, and more. If you have been on my Milsap Fan Blog Facebook page, you will see more photos of my collection as well as blogs about some of them. I blog normally on there because Facebook will not let me post my blogspot links where that's more appropriate. But anyway, I believe some of my most treasured items, other than the custom personalized stuff, are my photo albums with prints, rare photos, promo items, stubs, and more. I especially love all of the rare press pictures. I acquired a lot from a defunct newspaper and magazine on Nashville last year when it came up for auction. And many of them sat in a file cabinet drawer for over 40 years, and they were going to be thrown away if they weren't sold. Can you imagine the history that these people were going to throw away? Well, I could, and I wasn't going to stand for it. So I offered him about $200 and got quite a few pictures. I post them on the Milsap Fan Blog with information about them, so that was a fun find for me. And you guys can visit every day. I post different pictures. Not all of them are from that batch of press photos, but I do post those periodically, and they will have my watermark on them sometimes. Sometimes not. But anyway, it was a fun find for me to find all those pictures. One of the pictures in there was taken by his wife Joyce, as a matter of fact. I never posted that one for personal reasons. It's just a very intimate personal photo. I feel violates his privacy a little bit, so I did not ever post that one. A few people I know of, I have shared it with them privately, and they have seen it. If you'd like to see it, you can contact me and I'll do it, but you got to promise you can't post it publicly. If you do, I will be upset. Anyway, it's just a really nice picture, though. It's a sweet picture, but it's just something that gives you a glimpse into him on a personal detail, and that's why I haven't posted it. And Joyce was the person credited for snapping the picture because her name is on the back. But anyway, most of them I've got, though, are press pictures. They were taken at shows and events back in the 70s, and they were printed in the newspapers and stuff. Other favorites in my collection include radio shows, and those were meant to be played just once and then destroyed. When I find them, I take them home to try to. I take the time to try to put as many as I can on YouTube, because at least when I can secure the license to do them on some of them, and some I simply can't, but I post as many as I can. You can find me on YouTube under the Milsap Fan Blog. So once you're there, you can select playlists, and you can then find ones that mention radio shows and interviews to hear what I put up there so far. So at least there's that. Some of them include live concerts even. So, some of them are really time-consuming. I've got one that's over 3 hours long. It would take me about 7 hours to edit that for YouTube. So that's the reason why I haven't put that. And I've got a Ralph Emery one that's the same way. It's like 6 records, and it would take about, it's like a 5-hour-long show. And it was meant to be played over a period of a week or so. And there's just no way I'm going to have the time to put all of that up at once. So I may put it up piecemeal eventually to see, but no promises. But anyway, you can find, some are really time-consuming, like I said, so that's why I've not done those yet. I do blog about others on the Milsap Fan Blog Facebook page, though, so, if you're scrolling on there, you can just go through and find different things. Another thing I love is finding the rare performances and foreign editions of Ronnie's records. Sometimes releases in foreign countries will have these much different cover art and picture sleeves, and different cuts of songs may be released due to censorship laws. And even some tracks that weren't a single in the United States were in England and Australia. There's quite a few songs, actually, as a matter of fact, that ran concurrently. They became a hit over there, but they weren't released as a single over here. It's just the darndest thing, but that's just the way RCA did. And I'm sure other record companies probably did too. I'm more familiar with what RCA did because of Ronnie, but anyway, and I tell you, I have many different countries represented in my collection. Some of the countries I have are Canada, and this is off the top of my head, Canada, Thailand, Japan, Holland, Italy, Sweden, China, Russia, Australia, the UK, France, Spain, Portugal, New Zealand, and many other places. Ronnie's music gets around. He's actually got some international hits. Stranger in My House was really big in Australia. The Russians love him, and that's not a bad thing. Anyway, I've got magazines from foreign countries, press kits, promotional CDs. Let's see. That rounds out my collection. Another favorite of mine is a denim crew jacket that has been signed. It was my understanding that it was something that belonged to his son that got donated for charity, and his dad signed it, obviously, and it eventually ended up in my hands, and it fits me perfectly, and I wear it to concerts. I've also got a sleeveless hoodie that was made in Russia, and it is an official licensed product, and it says Ronnie Milsap Pure Love embroidered on the thing, and it came out in like 1986 or something like that, and I thought, where am I ever going to see another one of those? So I snagged that up as soon as I saw it, and I wear that once in a great while, and people ask me where I got it all the time. But I got it at an auction, an online auction, just like I did the jacket. I paid like $250 for the jacket, which was a steal, I think, because it's signed. And I wear my buttons and pins from the fan clubs and stuff that were exclusive to that years ago on that. And you can't miss me at Ronnie's shows, because I'm all decked out in that stuff. And I keep it on display when I'm not wearing it, obviously. But that Russian hoodie, though, I've never found another one, so I was glad I bought it when I did. But But the stuff I just named, CDs and stuff, it's a tip of the iceberg. And I do have a bucket list of items that I would like to have. I would love to have one of his shirts or his stage outfits. That's kind of going to be out of my price range if I ever find one. But I do know fans that have them. They are a sight to behold. I love to look at them. It's just awesome that they got this. I know a fan that's got one of his guitars because he got mad one day and he threw it and it broke because it was broken. And so a person snagged that and they got to keep it as a souvenir because it didn't work anymore. But, stuff like that I would love to get my hands on, but it's just a pipe dream at this point. But but I am happy for people that get to keep that kind of stuff, So, in case you're wondering, I would also love to have one of the little frisbees that Ronnie threw out all the time at shows. He used to throw frisbees at people with his logo on it. I've never come across one of those frisbees yet, but stranger things have happened. There's also have been some of the weirder things have been. There's actually a grenade out there. Yes, it's a grenade. It's a cast iron doorstop grenade. I hate you. I actually came across one of those the other day, and I will be posting about that on the Milsap Fan Blog soon to show you guys what it is. And it's crazy. A grenade, And there's also cap guns with his name on the holster. This was a wild time back in the 70s. They put logos and everything. I don't have any keychains and stuff. I have a few items from his theater in South Carolina that I've come across. I've been a fan of this man for 47 years, so I've got stuff that I forgot that I had, I think, sometimes. But I will be posting, I'm going to be doing a little segment. And I've already kind of started last night blogging about some of the more interesting things, radio shows and items, stuff like that. That's what inspired me to make the topic about collectibles this week. So, in case you're wondering, a great place to find stuff, music, especially rare music, editions, Discogs I cannot recommend Discogs enough. And it's like eBay for music and music videos. And you can put together a want list and they will email you as soon as something becomes available if it's not available. Because let's face it, a lot of Ronnie's records are out of print. And you can get those foreign editions that I talked about with different cover art. Because that's one thing that's about foreign editions that's really cool is you get different cover art, you get different liner notes, you get different sleeve art, you get sometimes different tracks, you get, all kinds of neat things. And the foreign editions are worth getting. And just because they're fun to look at and display, too, because nobody else has them. But anyway, I was able to find a copy of Ronnie's 21-disc RCA box set on Discogs, as a matter of fact. That's way out of print. They only printed a small number of them. When they first come out, I just gave up right away of the notion of owning one because they cost more than my rent did when they first come out. And I was able to get this for $200. I actually had a little bit of extra money saved back from, I tell you where I managed to get the money was during COVID. I wasn't able to go to concerts, so I got a few refunds on concert tickets. Money I was going to spend on concert tickets that I saved back, I just spent on that when it became available because I thought, it's one of those things, like there's certain things that I know if I don't snag it, I'm never going to get one. So it's now or never. I had this it's now or never attitude about a lot of collectibles with regards to Ronnie. If I see something, I think, I've never seen that before, but I thought, nope, if I don't buy that, I'll never see it again. And usually when I do, I don't see it again. Ever. So sometimes, I luck across stuff. I'm known as that fan that finds things, and I find things. There are a few things that eluded me. I still want a DVD copy of his In Celebration and a bunch of these older. There are VHS recordings of some of his older performances on TV that I'm sure somebody's got stuck in a cabinet somewhere. If they ever come across those and they don't want them, get in touch with me. I'll pay you good money for them. Seriously. Anyway, but the funny part is, I'll get back to the Russian. No, not, to get back to the RCA box set. I found it, of all places, a record store in Moscow posted it for $200, and it was mine. It took me 6 months to get it, though, because of COVID restrictions and some of the uprisings and stuff that were happening. Their mail was very, very slow, and I ended up getting it. It took about 6 months, and I had to sign for it. And so I finally got it, and it was really cool. The guy that mailed it out actually seat belted it in his car. He actually sent me a video of him packing it. He sent a video of him taking it to the post office and putting stamps on it, and the post office taking it away. He sent me all kinds of pictures. It was the funniest thing. I saved those pictures when he did that because I thought it was kind of cute how he did that. And I think he was just covering his own butt. He wanted to make sure that people knew he was legit and was sending it out, because it cost me a lot of money, but I got it safely. I have listened to it about 25 times. I use it as source material for the Milsap Fan Blog. It's awesome. So, anyway, so Discogs, I can't recommend it enough. Another one I recommend is called rockinconcerts.com. Now, I was leery of this one at first when I first come across it, but he's got some rare live recordings of Ronnie on there. There's one that's the basis for the Blast from the Past. It's got all those tracks. And the other one was like from Buffalo, New York. One was from one of the Wheeling Jamboree ones. I've got those posted on YouTube, actually. Those are some that I did get to post up there. But I was leery of that guy at first at Rockin' Concerts, because you put anything in there, he doesn't take credit cards or PayPal or any of that. You have to send him cash, Bitcoin, or write him a check, and then it takes forever to get it back, but it's worth it when you get it back, because, he's legit. It's high quality live recordings of Ronnie on CD, if you want to go that route. And so, and of course, Amazon and eBay always have things randomly. Those are some of my go-tos. I have a few items that I kept from my radio days as well. Some of you may know this, you may not. I used to work as a radio disc jockey. You can't really tell it by listening to this podcast because I'm out of practice, and I say and I'm not really in practice anymore like I used to be. But I really was a radio disc jockey. And not only was I a radio disc jockey, but I was also a music director, and I was able to get my hands on some things back then. I wasn't ever lucky enough to get a press kit, but I do have some rare double-sided records and stuff like that I kept back from that time. So, anyway. And also, once in a great while, I do end up with duplicate stuff. So, if there's something you want me to be on the lookout for, get in touch with me. If there's something that you want to trade for, if I have a duplicate of it, I don't mind swapping, And if you have something that you're for sale, just get in touch with me, because I can give you a good price on some stuff. Don't lowball yourself, but don't rip me off either, because I am on limited income. But anyway, I'm not opposed to trading in the near future, if I end up with duplicate items. So, it's really fun to collect stuff and find stuff. When I find stuff on eBay and I've got a little bit of money to spend, I'm like, woohoo, yeah, I'm getting that. So, anyway, I'm going to wrap this up and leave y'all with some tour information before I go. Anyway, Ronnie's next show is this week at the Parks Casino Excite Center in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. That is this Saturday. And he will be headlining with the Oak Ridge Boys. You can check his website or the Oak Ridge Boys website for ticket availability and for venue contact information. And I do want to say in that particular area, COVID cases are on the rise again, so it's always a good idea. Check 24 to 48 hours in advance in case anything changes, because, you know, I have had this happen to me several times. You know, I would get on the fan blog, I say, oh, Ronnie's got a concert tonight. Marty or somebody messaged me, go, I don't know if you heard or not, but the show got canceled 3 days ago, you know. And I was promoting it the whole time. It happens, okay? You know, a show I was going to go to, I was all set to go see him in Wichita. It took them like 4 months to send me my money back from that one. Wichita never did rebook him. They cited like a rise in COVID cases and stuff like that as a reason for. There was also a few security issues because the Westboro Baptist Church people were planning on being there for some reason, and it was crazy. So I just decided that, you know, they decided that they just canceled it entirely, and that was on the venue. It had nothing to do with Ronnie. You know, and a couple of weeks ago he had 2 shows right in a row. I know why the show was canceled, but why those shows were canceled and rescheduled, but I will not get into that for privacy reasons. But I do know why those shows were postponed. But everything's okay in the end because Ronnie is out on the road. He's doing his podcast, so it's nothing to worry about. It was nothing to do with Ronnie or anything, just so you know. So, but, you know, I do know why, but it just wasn't anything serious, so it wasn't even worth worrying about. They did reschedule one show, and they had Neil McCoy fill in for him on the other at last minute, and all was good. But anyway, and as far as me personally, everybody's, when are you going to see Ronnie again? Because you haven't seen him in a long time. You're right. I haven't seen him since November of last year. And I was going to see him in February at the Skirmerhorn Theater in Nashville, and I had my plane ticket, I had my hotel booked, I had everything ready to go. A week before the show, they pulled the plug. And I was like, what am I going to do? Because I asked Jamie, excuse me, I asked Jamie, he said, what you do, you know, is you get a hold of him and you explain the situation, and because of COVID concerns that they rearranged things, and they did reschedule that one. That was going to happen in November. I have already rebooked my flight, rebooked my hotel and stuff for the new date, so I'm still going to Nashville, but it's not happening until November 8th. And, but the next time I see Ronnie is going to be just in a few weeks. He's going to come back to Tulsa, to the River Spirit Casino, and that is a blast of a place because I got press tickets so that I could take pictures at that one, and so I'm going to be contacting the lady about press tickets again. If you want to meet me and my husband, just so you know where I'm going to be sitting, I will be wearing the aforementioned denim jacket that says the Ronnie Milsap Show on it. And I will be on the floor, section 2, which is the center section. The next to the last row, seats 7 and 8 is where we're going to be. And I'm going to be there. I will be walking around with a red camera. And that will be me. Just come up and say hi to me. You know, I don't bite. Trust me, I don't bite. I may act like I bite, but I don't bite. Anyway, those are my seat coordinates, and I will see some of you hopefully soon if you want to come to Tulsa. And those Tulsa tickets are selling like, it's a huge venue of 3,000 seats, so, and it was almost sold out when I got my tickets, and I was lucky to get them on the floor. So just so you know, it's going to be fun. I'm hoping that one's going to be a go and everything. But anyway, that's all for now. Check out the Milsap Fan Blog on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I've also got 3 groups going, and then I mod a couple of more others. And that's it. You know, I'm all over Facebook. I mean, it seems like I'm running a monopoly on Ronnie Milsap groups, and I probably am. But anyway, that's all for this week. I will talk to y'all later. Hopefully see some of y'all soon in Tulsa. And just talk to me on the fan blog if you got a question, or just comment and chat. I always love chatting with some of Ronnie's other fans. So talk to y'all later. Love y'all. Bye for now. 29.